I want to be upfront with you. I'm not here to flex, I'm not a billionaire, I never ran a hedge fund, and I was never the most important person in any room I walked into. But in my late 20s, I had more money than most people make in a decade, and it came from a career that most people my age had never even heard of. This channel is about that, how I built my wealth, the strategies I use today, and how you can break into the same world if that's something you want. But before I get into any of that, some of you are going to want to know who I actually am, so let me just tell you. I grew up pretty normally, nothing special about my background. I wasn't the kid with a Bloomberg terminal in his bedroom or some prodigy who was trading stocks at age 12. What I did have was a genuine interest in how things worked, market, economics, why certain companies succeed, why others collapse. The curiosity is basically what drove every career decision I made. When I got into university, I studied something quantitative, mathematics, statistics, that kind of area. And somewhere along the way, I started hearing about this thing called quantitative finance, or as most people want to call it, quants. The people behind the models, the ones building the tools that banks and funds use to make decisions worth millions, sometimes billions of dollars. I didn't fully understand what it meant at first, but I knew two things. It paid extremely well, and work-life balance can wait until I'm in my 30s. Now, I'm not gonna sugarcoat this. It's not easy to get in. The chance of getting is less than 1%, but breaking is not impossible. Now, quants are competitive in every aspects. They are different from a normal job, and something like investment banking is not the same thing. It's not about being the most polished person in the room or having the most impressive internship on your resume. It's about whether you can actually solve problems, hard technical problems, because it doesn't matter what you fake on your resume. The minute you're in a room and you can't answer a simple question related to probability, you're done. Now, my interview process was intense. I will do a full video on this because there's like a lot to unpack. Sorry if I stutter a bit. I have had that problem, but there will be no editing. I'm just gonna speak the way I'll speak. Okay, so the short version about me is I studied very hard. I basically focused my entire university time to studying subjects related to what I wanted to break into, which I would recommend you do that instead of studying multiple things, which I know people say you should explore, but I don't know. I think it's better to just focus on one thing. Now, I'm gonna say this, I am not the smartest person that was applying. I genuinely wasn't, but I feel I was the most prepared. Now, during my interview, the whole thing came down to 3 people, and out of those 3, one of them was gonna get the internship for the summer. I got it, and I have no idea how, but I got it. Now, here's the thing about working as a quant that nobody has really told you about. The work itself is genuinely interesting. You're solving real problems, you're working with smart people, and you can see the direct impact of what you build. That part I enjoyed, but it's also demanding in ways that I didn't expect. Long hours. I'm not even know how to explain long hours, but it's not even the long hours, it's the burnout from the working. But more than that, the mental load, it's too much. You're always thinking, even when you're not at your desk. Part of your brain is still running through a problem. There were stretches where I barely had time to decompress, and the social side of your life takes a hit. I'm not going to pretend otherwise. There were periods where I was focused on the job, and everything else, friendship, routines, just the normal stuff like that, kind of fell away. It's a real trade-off, but I was prepared. I figured it out that I want to work as much as I can in my 20s, save money, and I'd be figuring out what I wanted to do afterwards, and I think I made the right choice. Now, I know some of you are here because you want to know about money, and I'll be honest, I'll do a proper breakdown video about my compensation and every single thing that I did at my job. But what I will say here today is that for someone my age, and I'm in my late 20s, I made a lot of money, more than I expected. And I'm not gonna say I make like 10-20 million dollars. I didn't make that much, but I have enough money that I don't really have to worry about getting a new job if I decide to quit my current job. Anyway, quants role, especially the ones that move past the junior level, the compensation structure is extremely bad. I mean, I'm not even joking, just the benefits alone would make you want to stay at the job even if you're miserable at it. And unlike some careers where the money comes at the cost of everything else in your life forever, I reached a point where I had both financial stability and enough breathing room to actually start building wealth properly. That's what I invest time in now. Not just earning, but making the money actually working. That's a big part of what this channel is going to cover. So, why am I doing this? Honestly, because I was trying to break into the industry. I couldn't find anyone talking about it from the inside. There's a ton of content about investment banking, about trading, about crypto, almost nothing from someone who actually worked as a quant, but people with clickbaits, thumbnail, I don't know, flashy graphics and everything. I'm just gonna be honest with you, I don't care how many people watch this. There will be no flashy graphics or anything like that. I'm just gonna talk, and you can take this as a podcast if you want. That's it. I'm just gonna talk about things I do, things I studied to get into the company. And I understand if some of you don't like that, because our attention span has decreased quite a lot. You need something to stimulate you, but if you're here because you want to just listen, talk, well, we'll have fun, I believe. No fancy editing on this channel, you have my word. No, nothing, just me talking. In the next few videos, I'm going to get into the specifics, how quant interview actually works, what skills you actually need, and yes, a proper breakdown of what this career pays at different level. If any of that sounds useful to you, stick around. And if you have any questions, drop them in the comments. I built this channel to be useful, so tell me what you actually want to know. And just go off in the comments if you think I'm saying anything that doesn't make any sense. Anyway, hope to see you guys next time. This was day 1.